America's best-selling car last year was none other than the Toyota compact crossover, the RAV4. Maybe you missed my driving impressions of the new RAV4, the new 6th generation RAV4, which is going hybrid only, as well as plug-in hybrid. Those plug-in hybrids won't be launching till later, and we don't have pricing until maybe April, somewhere around there, when those vehicles come in from Japan. All the plug-in hybrids making their way over from Japan. But in the meantime, I have a Woodland coming to me, a Woodland hybrid coming to me to review. All right, so that will be coming, I believe, next week, and I should be able to get that in before the end of the year to be able to put it on the spreadsheet and grade it against all the other cars I've reviewed so far in 2025. But on the exciting end, at least for me, all right, I geek out over this stuff. I already made a video on the pricing of the RAV4 because Toyota's communicated it, but now the builder is officially up, and the builder just allows us to have some fun with what we have here. Now, keep in mind, even if you build a vehicle, doesn't mean Toyota's going to build it for you just the way you want it. When I was working for Lexus, which of course is a luxury division of Toyota, Toyota's very similar. Toyota and Lexus, they will build. It's more so a Lexus thing. I will say this, okay? If you want a very specific custom-made Lexus, they might just spit it back in your face and say, no, we're not making that. That would mess up our production efficiency. It's kind of like that for Toyota, I would have to guess, all right? So just because if we build the most perfect ideal RAV4 doesn't mean you will be able to get it. Now, to the benefit of Toyota, though, they don't have as many packages, options, individual features that you can a la carte on a Lexus per se. So what we build here is going to be pretty close to what you see at the dealership lots with one big asterisk. Dealers, as well as distributors, the dealers can put on their own clear coats. They can put on their own tent. They can put on their own X, Y, and Z to upcharge the car. Okay. It's up to you to try to negotiate those down out of the deal. I personally wouldn't pay for any of the things unless it's like window tint, which I find a good value in. Dealerships typically do window tint really well for a reasonable price, in my opinion. But many other things, they don't. In my local case as well, there's also the Southeast Toyota distributor. And I work directly with them sometimes because they're happy to get cars to me. But as a result, I also see what they add on at the distributor end for options. And sometimes it's a bit ridiculous, such as, screen protectors, which cost $100+ when you can put your own screen protector on, buy it from Amazon for like $10. I'm not kidding. You just keep that in mind that what we build here doesn't mean this is the sort of price you would actually see at the dealership, right? All these little add-ons are going to increase the price, but this is just a base MSRP. And then you'll do your best to negotiate to MSRP. The world we're living in right now for Toyota is different from every other manufacturer. If you want less than MSRP, buying a RAV4, that's probably not going to happen with this new generation, not for a while anyways. More than likely, if you want a hybrid compact in this segment, go look at a CRV if you want it under MSRP. Go look at a Kia Sportage or a Hyundai Tucson if you want it under MSRP. Also, because it's using Toyota's hybrid system, not the 5th gen that you see here on the 6th gen RAV4, the 5th gen hybrid is exclusive to this car as well as the Camry right now. The Camry can be had for as low as $25,000 on the current market. It's amazing. But what I'm trying to get to is Mazda CX-50 hybrid uses last generation hybrid technology from Toyota. Fantastic. It's bulletproof. It's efficient. It's just not quite as smooth or as refined or as quiet as the new one or as powerful, but it's close. But you can get that under MSRP on a Mazda as well right now, CX-50. All right, now that we have that out of the way, shall we play with the builder here? Now it says pick up where I left off. You can see this is a previous generation RAV4. You got to love the cookies. Cookies will save that for you. All right, so let's go ahead and click the build button here. All right, and here we have all the different trim levels. LE, which I haven't driven yet, and I will drive at some point. You got to keep in mind that I do work with my local Toyota dealer a few times throughout the year. And they will give me some of these entry-level models that I haven't driven an SE on this new one. I haven't driven the LE. I've only driven the XLE Premium, the Woodland, the XSE, I have not driven the Limited, and then I've also driven all the plug-in hybrids, including the GR Sport model. All right, but you can see that the entry-level LE here actually starts for less money than the outgoing LE model hybrid did. Why is that? Well, the new LE can be had in front-wheel drive. Let's be real. The vast majority of people don't need all-wheel drive. Okay, so front-wheel drive is more than enough for the majority of people out there, especially if you live in south of the snow belt. For sure, all-wheel drive is kind of just a luxury. It's not a necessity. I'm all for base builds. Let's see here what we're gonna get this for. Now, there you can get the Ruby Flare Red here, which looks fantastic. It's gonna cost you $425. Most of the base cars, I would say, base LE, they're going to be, you can get it in Storm Cloud, which is a great color. Storm Cloud debuted on the Grand Highlander a few years back. Meteor Shower is a nice color too. So you got some great options here. It's not just going to be a bunch of white and black cars. Now, maybe the majority they build are going to be white and black. And Meteor Shower is a great color as well, kind of a silver. So black fabric, you might be saying, Kirk, this is kind of disappointing because on the LE Camry, you can get the Boulder color, which is a kind of a gray. I agree. However, a black fabric seat is not nearly as punishing as a black vinyl seat or a black leather seat. Those things heat up to the same temperature as the surface of the sun. All right. Fabric, though, is always going to be cool, and it's never going to be hot. Okay. So it's kind of like always in a happy temperature. You're never going to like stick to a cloth seat either. So fabric here is a big win, in my opinion, for the base LE and is a massive benefit for this trim. Okay, no, you don't have the fog lights up front that you have on like a Limited, for example, but I think it still looks very handsome. The new Rav4 overall, a little roguish from behind, from the side it looks nice, and I do like the new front end. All-wheel drive, $1,400 upgrade. That's up to you to decide, and that will also depend on your market. For example, when Toyota builds these in mass for your area, Toyota has multiple different districts throughout the United States. It could be like 6. I forget. Okay, kind of have like the Northeast. You kind of have the Southeast. You kind of have the Midwest. You have the South. You have California. You have the Northwest, the Southwest. So like there are a few different general areas that Toyota has for building cars and sending cars, and it depends a lot on politics. At least when it comes to sending electric cars, but also comes down to, hey, what are people in the Midwest going to need versus people in Florida? Okay, people in the Midwest, they have extreme temperatures, gets really hot, really, really cold, so you might see a lot more cold weather packages come as standard on some of their models, for example. So now that I got that out of the way, front wheel drive, let's stick to that. What kind of options? Phone cable charge. No one should be spending $80 on USB cords. Toyota and your distributor or your dealer might try to throw this in there, and do not pay this. This is one of those things. It's like no one would ever pay $80 for USBs if it wasn't maxed behind a $30,000 vehicle, right? Emergency kit. I was just at Costco, and you can get car emergency kits for a lot less money than this, like half the price. First aid kit. Actually, this is not a terrible buy, but let's look on Amazon. $17. Okay, $17. So again, don't pay the Toyota tax on that. And maybe say, hey, I'm willing to pay $17 because I can get a first aid kit for a car for $17 on Amazon. But don't pay this. Okay, don't pay the $30. I know I'm nickel and diming here, but the dealers are and Toyota's going to try to nickel and dime you. They want to get as much money from you as possible, and that's okay if the product is great. But all these ticky-tacky things it's kind of rude, in my opinion. All right, so here it is. This is the cheapest Rav4 you can get when it comes to market, not including any add-ons. Okay, you have the base MSRP, $31,900. Okay, and then you're going to have DHP, which is $1,400, $33,320 for the cheapest Rav4, and this is still going to be an amazing buy. I guarantee it. However, just keep in mind that if you don't need a crossover and you want a really good hybrid system, it's the same exact same hybrid system. I know it's spec maybe 1 horsepower different or something. All right, but if you want I made a video yesterday. Oh, I don't want Rav4 in here. Hold on. Let's unselect this. This is a way better buy than the Rav4. You can get it in all-wheel drive, even on the LE. Okay, but look at the deals that can be had. Now, this is just in my area. I have probably the healthiest and most competitive market in all of the United States in South Florida. It's there's a lot of people with money down here, and there's just the new car volume is so high that you see crazy deals. Okay, so it's not unheard of for people to travel from out of state into Florida to get the best deal possible. All right, and you see these crazy deals here. Wesley Chapel's up in around Tampa area, for example, Sarasota here with really good deals, low deals. So that's just something to keep in mind. All right, that if you want the same hybrid experience that you get on the Rav4, you can get it for a lot less, $6-7 grand less here on a Camry LE, and get gray interior as well. All right, now what are some of the benefits of the new Rav4? Okay, well, you get newer screen technology. Okay, this 12-inch screen is standard. The Camry has a 7-inch screen. You have this new 10-inch screen here. The Camry is a 7-inch screen. The Camry, I have to test it, but the Camry I'm almost guaranteed to tell you has a way better sound system, base model to base model. But yep, goodbye here. Big fan of the Rav4 LE. I mean, this does have a plastic steering wheel, but let's go back. Let's go back to there are no options here. This is what's fascinating, because if I go to the Camry builder, let's build the LE. The LE Camry, again, you can have the nice Boulder interior, which is really nice. I love the cloth here. All right. Ocean Gem. I'm a big fan of this color. Reminds me of my 93 Mercury Sable. All-wheel drive is actually more an expensive option than it was on the Rav4 for some odd reason. But look at the packages you can get on this base LE Camry that you cannot get, or not even an available option on the Rav4 base model. Okay, so we have this cold weather. Well, let's see. What is the convenience package? Auto dimming rear mirror, cool. Smart key system, okay. Power adjustable driver's seat. All right, smart key system's pretty nice. But look at this. I can get a heated leather steering wheel and heated front seats. Let's go back to the build of this car. Okay, does the Rav4 LE have heated seats? Heated front seats, look right here. All right. They don't come on the LE. All right, you might be looking all the way to the right here where it says fabric trim heated front seats. Well, let's see what trim level that is. Those are the SE models. So if you want heated front seats, you have to get an SE model or an XLE Premium, for example. If we go back up, XLE Premium and the Woodland. All right, so the Woodland, the XLE Premium, the SE, but you cannot get heated seats even as an option on the base LE trim. And I can even plug this in. Even here in Florida, I can whittle this down and find a heated seat Camry LE for under $30,000, and more than likely it has a convenience package on top of that, all right, which raises the price, which has a keyless entry. So yeah, just keep that in mind. If you want heated seats when you build your Rav4, if you're looking to buy a Rav4, so it's like the LE typically is a really good buy, but the fact that heated seats are not in here might be a deal breaker. You don't have an option of even a leather steering wheel like you have on the base Camry, for example. Let's go to an SE and look. An SE's base price is almost $3,000 more. And what do you get for it? Well, I mean, you don't even get red. What in the world? You can get the red, which is a sporty color by nature. You can get red on the LE as an option, but you can't get it here on the SE. Riddle me that. Oh, you just get the black and blue fabric here, $1,400. But now you can get all these other things. So look at the convenience package. What does that give us here? All right, height adjustable power liftgate with jam protection. Power liftgate's not that important to me, in my opinion. Heated leather steering wheel is an option here on the SE. And again, you're going to have to spend $36K, almost $37K before destination to get these sort of features. Okay, moonroof package. Let me know if you guys need moonroof. All right, but let's go and finish the build here. And again, you don't have the option like you do on the Camry to have that light color interior if you want a heated steering wheel or heated front seats. Okay, so $36K here to get an SE. It's about, again, more than $3,000 more than the base LE, but at least I can get my leather wrap steering wheel that's heated, and I can get my heated front seats. That might be very important to some of you guys. It's not very important for me where I live here in Florida, but I know it's a huge, huge deal for many people out there. So if we go back to the trim levels of the Camry and the availability, this is a good idea of where Toyota is going to apportion some of the build volume of each individual trim level of the RAV4. Now the RAV4 has an additional trim level called the Woodland, and that Woodland trim will vary in volume depending on like your district. So like Pacific Northwest, that Woodland's going to be like, it's got to fight the Subaru. So you're going to have a ton of Woodland availability in northern areas, I would say. And warmer areas, I would say lower availability of the Woodland. All right, but time will tell. So if we look at the Camry here, a lot of LEs, Nightshade, don't worry about it. Act like Nightshade doesn't exist. But a lot of LEs, double the amount of SEs. That will probably be the same case with the RAV4 as well. Okay. We don't have an XLE on the new RAV4, but you have an XLE Premium, but expect around the same volume. Not in terms of sheer volume, but I mean in terms of relative volume. So maybe you'll have about a quarter of the available volume for XLE Premium versus an LE model, about an eighth of the volume versus an SE model. If we look at XSE, it's going to be very low volume even on the new RAV4, and I think we should probably look here. The new RAV4 XSE is going to be so expensive, and in fact, it was my least favorite trim level to drive. I didn't drive the Limited here, but the XSE has massive wheels. The ride quality wasn't as good. It felt really heavy compared to the XLE Premium that I drove. All right, so let's go and build an XSE. And again, the starting price is over $41,000. Wow, they've kind of forced you into the two tones here. The two-tone, unless you get black. So the only color that's, and like, here's the thing again, no red. So the SE did not have red. The XSE does not have red, but you're telling me the LE and probably the XLE Premium has red? Those are sporty. Those are not the sporty grades. All right, so none of these colors here are sporty. Storm Cloud looks the best. All right, maybe you guys like the Storm Trooper of the Windchill Pearl. Okay, the white and the black here. So that's kind of unfortunate, in my opinion, that you don't have access to better colors for when you're spending this much money on an XSE. Let's look at the interior real quick. A black and dark gray color combination here with we have some felt there too, it looks like. All-wheel drive is standard here. That's going to raise the price, of course. That's why the base price is so high here. Weather package. Okay, well, let's look at this. So the XSE heated leather steering wheel is optional. It should be standard, in my opinion, with this much money. All right, same thing with the windshield wiper de-icer, but we're going to get that. All right, driving assist package, which driving assistance package, advanced park and toggle shift by wire shifter. No, do not buy that. That is a joke. All right, but you can still get the JBL audio and the panel roof. However, I feel like the panel roof that I drove with the XSE, now it's pre-production, but it was rattling. That gives me, I would have to drive production versions to see, like, is this going to be a real issue? All right. And with all that glass up high, it just felt like the vehicle didn't handle as well. All right. And the irony is, it's like, yes, it's the sportiest trim. No, it doesn't come in red, but also it didn't feel faster and didn't handle as well as, ironically, an XLE model. So, and the ride quality was worse. So this was my least favorite trim level for the RAV4. And now it's even confirmed, like, heated steering wheel, you have to pay extra for. JBL, you have to pay extra for. Panel roof, you have to pay extra for. So you're just like, it's like, what does this actually give you? Big wheels? All right. And two-tone paint? that you have to pay extra for, and not even in the red color that XSE deserves. And you get a black interior that you have no option out of. All right. So not a fan of the XSE whatsoever. All right. So let's go back to the different trim levels. Again, LE, SE are going to be the largest volume. Now, I drove the premium, XLE premium, enjoyed it. Look, again, the XLE can be had in red. SE and XSE at this point in time cannot, and even can have blueprint. So you see all these color options here. This tells me that, hey, this is going to be one of the big volume sellers, more than likely too. And look at the interior. I can get a nice tan interior with, that I couldn't get on an SE or XSE. So really, really enjoy this trim level. I think this is one of the better sweet spots of the Toyota Rav4 hybrid lineup. All right. What other options here? Oh, you can also get it in gray. Fantastic. Now, keep in mind, these are all soft techs. It's not the cloth. I wish we had a light color cloth. The outgoing Rav4 had a light color cloth available on the base Rav4. Pretty sure. Almost positive. Okay. The new one doesn't. If you want a light color interior, they force you to upgrade, all right, to the XLE Premium, which is very frustrating. Maybe, depending on how the market speaks, Toyota will have to be forced to offer a bolder or a gray interior cloth, all right, on the LE trims. Time will tell. But I do like the color combinations here. The beige and the gray look great. And this is what the black looks like. Looks like black to me. All right, so I like the gray, I like the harvest beige here. All-wheel drive, still $1,400 option. Weather package, again, that gives us a heated leather steering wheel, which is not an available option on the base LE trim. Yeah, we want to add that. Driver assistant package, what does this have? Front cross traffic alert. No. Do not get this. The driver monitor, the safe exit alert, the traffic jam assist, the lane change assist, front cross traffic alert. I would pay not to have these on there because they are so intrusive and annoying all the time. The car beeping at you because you're messing with the touchscreen, which you're kind of forced to do in a lot of situations, all right, because your eyes are not on the road, they're on the touchscreen. So the driver monitor yells at you. The front cross traffic alert is one of the stupidest things ever. It's really bad. Rear cross traffic alert is standard. Front cross traffic alert, it just beeps and chimes at you when traffic passes or you see the traffic going by. I don't need the car to yell at me when I'm inching forward to plan my time to merge into traffic, and the car just yells at you. Hate front cross traffic alert. Sorry, I had traffic jam assist highlighted. Traffic jam assist is like radar cruise control, but for lower speeds. And these things, guys, why are there asterisks here? These asterisks are all subscription based. So you'll pay an upfront charge to have the hardware here, and then Toyota will say after whatever the trial period is, probably 3 years, after the trial period, they're like, oh, you need to keep paying if you want these features. F that. Do not get the driver assist package. Do not get it. All right. What about the panel moonroof? You can still get the panel moonroof on an XLE Premium. Almost $2,000. No, thank you. Does it come with anything else? Digital rearview mirror? Come on. They package those two things together. No, thank you. Not worth it. Cool technology. It's great to have the extra light in here. All right. But you see this. It doesn't look like in the XLE, they're not even giving you a sunroof option unless you pay almost $2,000 for the pano roof. That's dodgy to me. I feel like for an XLE Premium, this is a premium packaged car. Where is the standard sunroof here? This model is losing interest to me. All right. But if you want a light interior, this is the cheapest way to get it. So that's frustrating. Anyways, let's finish the build here. All right. Sub $40,000 is the sweet spot for the RAV4. Once you go, like the diminishing returns are massive. All right. Once you get to $40,000 and beyond. But let's entertain it. I already entertained it on the XSE. Again, my least favorite build. But what about the Woodland? Well, the Woodland's pretty special. It's, ooh, look, you get it in the Everest color or Storm Cloud. Those are my two favorite colors here. Everest is fantastic. And look, let's take a look at the inside. The downside of this is that the seats are not perforated. This is my biggest hesitation with this model. Well, you know, the mineral's fine because I like the orange accents. It breaks it up. Sorry, the black. The mineral's better, all right, because it's kind of like this teal color, which is kind of nice. All right, but the problem with this trim is that the seats are not perforated. And because they're not perforated, they're going to get hot, sweaty, and uncomfortable. You're going to stick to them. All right, cloth seats are far superior. All right. Cloth seats are actually the best for hot climates, regardless of what you think. All right. That's my testing. In all my testing, cloth seats are always the best in where I live anyways. All right. For letting your body breathe. These seats are the absolute worst for hot climates. You'll stick to them. You'll be sweating. Even if it's cool on the inside, it'll still be hot as heck on the seats. Perforated synthetic leather or perforated leather are a good option. Ventilation, even ventilated vinyl seats or ventilated leather seats don't do as a good job of letting your skin breathe as cloth seats. Okay. The only thing that comes close or maybe even superior would be true air conditioned front seats, which like General Motors products have true air conditioning pumped through the seat. Those are probably the best, but they're very expensive to get. And cloth is durable and very climate neutral. If you want a sunroof, you can have it. It's $850. Or what else does it give you? That's it, just sunroof. But keep in mind, heated steering wheel is standard. Heated seats are standard. Even in hot weather, they're going to be standard because they're going to be so hot, even if you don't have the heated toggle on. All right. But these also come standard with a 1500 watt power accessory in the back, which I find a lot of value in. All right. It also comes with standard roof rails. We go back to the exterior design. Standard all-terrain tires with really cool 18-inch, 6-spoke wheels, and a really unique, beautiful front end. It's my favorite front end of the RAV4. So this is the most I would probably spend on the new RAV4 new. That's just me. All right, because once we looked at the XSE, very, very expensive, and it just didn't feel that special to me. Actually drove worse than the other trims that I drove. Limited, I didn't get a chance to drive it. You have the option, again, limited, not sporty, but for whatever reason, the non-sporty trims have access to the red. You, of course, get beige here. So the interiors here are exactly the same as the XLE premium options. Black Softex Harvest Beige, as well as light gray. Exact same interior color combinations. All right, this has the bigger screen. I prefer actually the smaller screen. The smaller screen is seen in the Woodland. The XLE Premium, the SE, and the LE. The XSE has a bigger screen too. I like the smaller screen. The bigger screen, it's too much area for your arm to slide around and move. Okay, and they offer the exact same technology if I remember correctly. All right, they all have driver monitor too. Not driver monitor, I take that back. They all have a dash cam. Okay, standard, which is kind of nice. 20-inch wheels, is that worth it? Well, let's look. What are these? I like these. Are these 19-inch wheels then? Or 18-inch wheels? What do these look like? Well, you have to get the head-up display. Well, let's get it. All right, this is maybe the only trim level you can get head-up display in is the Limited here. Okay, and let's wait. Let's look at these wheels. Nothing is changing. So this is something broken on the builder here. Nothing is happening when I select 20-inch wheels here. So that's a bit strange. And if I go to RAV4 brochure, because the brochures have the wheel designs, the brochures here, or maybe I should go to electrified. Is it maybe under here? The RAV4. That's weird. I don't see it in there. So that's unfortunate that I can't even look at the brochure what the 20-inch wheels look like. So hopefully that builder gets fixed here for the 20-inch wheels. All right. So we've added every package here on this trim. We added the most expensive paint color. What is this? Almost $47,000. $47,000 after destination. Now, would I pick this over some other cars that you can get for 46? Almost $47,000. Well, remember there's this other vehicle Toyota also has called the Crown Signia. The Crown Signia is very upscale. It's beautiful. It's a wagon, not super low to the ground like an old school wagon, but it's lifted. I think it's better looking than the RAV4, absolutely. And you can get these. Look, these are on discount. Look, a $4,000 discount here. If you're spending over $45,000 and you can get them for less, I would heavily recommend you at least take a look at the Crown Signia. It's an amazing car. You have tons of cargo capacity like a RAV4, probably even more since it's longer. All right, and you can get these in the limited trim as well as the XLE. Now, XLE here, let's go ahead and build one. XLE, ooh, can have in the copper crest as well. Ooh, big fan of the copper crest. Well, I call it copper crest. It's called Bronze Age. Copper crest is a Lexus name for it. And Lexus probably is more metallic flake or something. All right. But the XLE, you know, get it with the saddle tan. Oh yeah. This interior smokes the RAV4's interior, smokes it, even on the limited trim. All right. Here we go. There are no options here. This is the downfall of the XLE trim here, because the XLE, it doesn't give you like parking sensors, if I remember correctly, which I think is bizarre. But if that doesn't matter to you, you're still gonna have a 360 camera, or so you'll have a backup camera. Wow, the images here, there we go. Yeah, and you have heated and ventilated seats. So this is even on this base XLE trim of the Crown Signia, you have heated and ventilated seats. You're going to have a heated steering wheel. All right, for $46K. All right, doesn't have the new Toyota software or technology, but it has nice screens. I'll say that. Nice screens, much better interior, I would say, than the Toyota, and better climate control features too than the Toyota RAV4. And these seats are a lot nicer and more comfortable. Way nicer and more comfortable seats. Okay. So definitely consider this, whether it's XLE or the limited here. The limited, again, they give you advanced tech package, 360 camera, which again, I don't like the lane change assist, traffic jam assist, front cross traffic alert, blah, blah, blah. Front and rear parking assist though is really important to me. And it's just unfortunate that it's packaged with this stupid traffic jam assist, front cross traffic alert, driver monitor, etc. Okay, so I'm a big fan of the parking sensors, and you get the 360 camera here, but it's not necessary. Definitely not necessary. But this here, $50,000, when we look really on the market here, you can get, let's look at lowest prices. There's not a lot of availability here, all right, on the Crown Signia. But look, you can get them for under $45K right now in non-black. Great buy. I would be picking this over the new RAV4. I know the new RAV4 has a more updated hybrid powertrain, but the aesthetic here just speaks to me more, okay, than the RAV4. And I'd be picking this over the XSE as well as the limited RAV4 hybrid 2026 models without hesitation. Now, what about Lexus? Lexus NX. The NX is a little bit smaller, and we'll look at NX hybrid here. The Lexus is a little bit smaller, and that might be a benefit to some of you guys. The Lexus NX kind of feels like it's between a Corolla Cross in size and a RAV4 in size. All right, but we look at NXs here. You know, once you're close to $40,000, as I go back to the builder here, not on the Camry, once you're close to $47,000, it's worth it to look at maybe a Lexus too. Lexus is going to have fantastic seats. You're going to have that Lexus badge. However, let's see here. Let's look at a premium front wheel drive here. $51K. Would I still rather have a Crown Signia than this? Well, I actually have reviewed them side by side. The Lexus NX and a Crown Signia side by side. So check out that video. The Lexus is quieter. It's built a little bit better than the Crown Signia. It just doesn't look as good. All right. So I'm a sucker for that wagon aesthetic, and I'd be saving a little bit of money and getting the Crown Signia here. But yeah, once you're in the upper $40,000, definitely consider a Lexus too, because it's going to be quieter, more comfortable than your RAV4. But Crown Signia here is, to me, the pick. Once you're over $40,000, well above $40,000 for the RAV4, get a Crown Signia. You will thank me for it. My overall buying guide here would be, if you want the best value, get a Camry LE or Camry SE. Okay, those you'll be able to get under $30,000 or just slightly over. And it has the exact same 5th gen powertrain as the new RAV4. All right, but once if you want the Woodland's a great buy because it's very unique trim level. And it's beautiful. Has the best looking front end of the new RAV4, has cool tires, and it rides really well and handles well, and it's quiet despite it having all-terrain tires. So great here. XLE Premium I also really enjoyed. Okay, that's about 38,000 after destination, and depending if you want some options. Woodland's going to be a little over $40,000. Again, SE is a good buy here if you need to have a heated steering wheel and heated seats on your RAV4 and you don't really care about much else. Unfortunately, you cannot get red here on the SE like you can on the non-sporty trim levels like the LE, the XLE, and the Limited. The LE, I do want to test because it is the cheapest RAV4 hybrid, but the fact that it doesn't have heated seats is bizarre to me. Not even an option for it is frustrating when the Camry, which costs a lot less money, can have those features. All right. No light interior here is a bit questionable too. All right. So I will see you guys in the comments. I'm not that sold on the value of this LE. It should provide a better value than it does. Instead, you're going to have to upgrade to the SE to get heated seats and a heated steering wheel, which is a huge jump in price. We look here. All right, $34,700 versus $31,900. So it's going to be like a $3,500 price jump just to get heated seats in a RAV4. All right, because you're going to have to get this weather package right here that has the heated leather steering wheel. There's a little heated seat icon. Let me show you. Heated seat icons right here on the SE trim. And if I go back, let's go back to the LE here. Let's check out the interior. That little icon's completely gone, missing. So no heated seats, just to double clarify. Under $30,000, look at a Camry. You're going to save a lot of money and you're going to have a great experience on a Camry LE or SE. If you want to have obviously, people like sitting up a little bit higher and having a hatchback or lift back like in the RAV4, for example. This is still great value, but its strength, the RAV4's strength, is between $35,000 and low 40s. Once you get to the mid to upper 40s, these Limited and XSE trims really lose their value to something like Crown Signia, which has better design, built in Japan. Just a gorgeous vehicle here, and it has more comfortable seats and a nicer interior too. All right, I'll see you guys in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed my breakdown of the RAV4 builder. Again, stay tuned, subscribe. It's coming to my driveway, and I will be reviewing it, putting it through the paces. I'll do a nighttime review of the RAV4 Woodland. All right, I want to see what those fog lights look like at night. I'll be doing an overall review of the RAV4 Woodland, and I'll also do a miles per gallon test to see how efficient the new RAV4 is. I know it's not going to be ideal because I have all-terrain tires and it has all-wheel drive, so it's not going to be the most fuel efficient. The SE front-wheel drive, actually the LE front-wheel drive will be the most fuel efficient because it has the smallest wheels and the lightest weight because it doesn't have that extra motor in the back for all-wheel drive. So if you want the best fuel economy on a RAV4, you're going to have to look at the LE front-wheel drive, but you're not going to have the option of heated steering wheel and heated seats, which hurts me, or a light interior option, which hurts me because I know the Camry can get those on the base trim. I just love the Camry LE. The RAV4, not that great of a value in the low 30,000s. It's going to be about $35,000 to $42,000 is the sweet spot. The SE is a better value, maybe a better value than the LE. All right, because the LE is just so expensive, and you can't get the features that you can on a much less expensive Camry LE. That's just I love the Camry LE. That's one of my favorite cars of 2025. All right, thank you guys. Stay tuned. I'll catch you in the next one, and peace.